Yes, procedure.
Mr. Speaker, Rule 155 gives the process of handling motions like this one. The procedural issue I'm raising, if by an amendment, this motion almost changes completely, isn't it the right procedure to have it referred back to the committee? If it is changes completely, someone who came to borrow 2 trillion, now is saying I want to borrow 100. So if it changes and midway, because there are documents today under 155, now he's saying the documents they did actually were fake, he has discovered, but they were the basis for referring this particular loan request to the committee.
Thank you. Now, it's difficult for me to rule on that because the motion is not yet carried. Once the motion is carried, then I will be able to rule. Honorable Nandara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank first of all for your guidance. Of course, the Minister of Finance, under this law, this constitution is the one allowed to go and negotiate for money and bring. But also it is, again, under this law, you are free to withdraw a motion. But of interest, of course, even our rules allows committees to investigate matters. You are not limited to even those behind and the front. Now, from what we're hearing, Mr. Speaker, it looks there's more. You know, people may have been stealing. Today, they have been got. Okay. Maybe they've been doing things. Let me change the language. Doing things. Today, they have been got on 40 days. Now, Mr. Speaker, this thing has an issue to do with the budget we have passed. Now, it means the budget we passed has issues, because the moment you're talking of withdrawing money,
this loan has got to do with, one, the supplementary we passed and the current budget of this financial year, not the one we have just passed for next year. I just wanted.
Now, colleagues, you see where my worry is, Honorable Nandara. Members are saying they want the report, but all we are doing is delaying the report. So we better move so that we can have the report quickly, okay? And then we start getting information which we need. I put the question that the minister's motion be adopted. Those in favor say to the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Chair, go on and Honorable Minister. The minister will present an amended motion, but we shall have a full report of the committee.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to move under Rule 155 of the Rules of Procedure that Parliament authorizes government to utilize part of Uganda's IMF SDR quota allocation equivalent to United States dollars 250 million, and two, to borrow up special drawing rights 90 million, approximately US dollars 125 million from the International Monetary Fund to finance the government of Uganda budget for financial year 2022-2023. I beg to move.
Thank you. Honorable Chair. Honorable Nandara, you have an issue before Chair comes in? First wait, is the motion seconded? But then how do you want the report read? And yet you said you want a report. Yes. Yes, you don't have any other motion. Okay? Yeah. Honorable Nakada, Honorable Bahati, Honorable Mricha, Honorable Cyrus. Thank you. Colleagues, the committee will present its findings. What you need is information. Where it applies or not, what you need is information. That's it. I don't know why we are. So someone has said, I was borrowing this money, this one I found it problematic, and you're saying, no, you must remain with it so that I first deny you. So no, let us get information or information the way they've captured it, observations which Honorable Chivumbi is talking about, we pick all of them and we shall move.
What I was raising,
Yes, Honorable Nandara.
I'm going to the Constitution of Uganda under Article 159. Of course, it says government to borrow must be with the authority of Parliament. But under Clause 3, for us to do, because the minister has now changed according to the withdrawal, it says, the terms and the conditions of the loan shall be laid before the Parliament and shall not come into operation unless they have been approved by resolution of Parliament. B, that the money received in respect of that loan shall be paid in the consolidated fund and form part of the fund in which the public fund, which is existing or is created for the purpose of that. Mr. Speaker, the reason I'm raising, the initial terms which the committee went to investigate it were the ones which they presented. The ministers come and they say, we're now going for special drawing rights. And special SDRs, colleagues, I think one SDR is equal to about $1.3 from IMF. Now, what are the terms of the SDRs which we want to change? Because we are not going to start discussing until we have the terms and the conditions and the authorization from IMF to say, now you have been authorized to draw down.
Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we presented the terms to the committee and the committee is ready to report to the House for debate.
Now, colleagues, it's very simple. There were different lenders according to this loan. The ministers dropped one lender and all of them, their terms were presented here. Okay? He has dropped one lender. The other lenders are still there. Okay? So you don't need, he doesn't need to bring any new terms, any what he read here is what has been processed. That's what the committee has worked on. But he has said, I'm no longer interested in doing business with one of the people I had proposed to do business with. Very simple. So it doesn't change anything much on that. Colleagues, Chair, can you present your report? Colleagues, Chair, present your report.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Colleagues, honorable members of Parliament, I stand here as a Chair, Committee on National Economy, to present a report on the Committee of National Economy on the proposal by government to utilize Uganda US dollars 250 million from the Uganda IMF SDR special drawing rights quota allocation, borrow up to special drawing rights 90 million, equivalent to 125 million US dollars from the International Development Association of the World Bank, and borrow up to 500 million euros from Amarog Capital Limited, Sovereign Infrastructure Group, and other financial institutions to finance the government of Uganda budget for the financial year 2022-2023. Honorable members, I have read the whole report, and we shall present the whole report, because as a committee, we looked at all the terms and conditions of all the other lenders, and therefore as a committee, we shall be guided by the Speaker on how we shall present this report.
Please present the report in its entirety.
Right,
Just
Speaker,
focusing, there are many details in the report. Focus on
we
the
want
findings.
to lay the committee report the minutes of the committee and all the other accompanying documents, including the due diligence reports that we sought from the Ministry of Finance on from the Finance Intelligence Authority on the capacity of the other lenders. Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to give an opportunity to my deputy chairperson to present this report. As a committee, we still have more work that we believe that before the close of the day, we want to present even the other report. Therefore, you'll allow, I seek for your indulgence that you allow my deputy chairperson to present the report as I go and continue with the committee business. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Procedure, Honorable Chirumira.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. And thank you, Honorable colleagues and Chair. I have an issue and I seek for your guidance. This particular report that the chairperson is reporting relates to members signing the report. And now that we have an amendment done by the minister, I'm seeking for your guidance whether we are proceeding right for the chairperson to be reporting on a report that has already been changed, because members of the committee signed that report premised on the fact that there was a rejection of that Amalogo loan. And now that there is a new amendment, I'm not sure if the chairperson is reporting on a report based on the new amendment or the old amendment. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable colleagues, the motion, the original motion was, which was processed, was from IMF 250 million and 90 and $125 million. Okay. From then Amarok 500 million euro. Each lender has his or her terms. Okay. Listen, I think what is paining some people, maybe it's because the minister has said he has withdrawn and I'm not going to put a question and you defeat him. It seems it's disturbing some people. Huh? I don't know. I thought he would have made your work easy. If you recommended that you don't want the money, and the minister has also said I've withdrawn it, why are you pained and you want to go on record as having rejected? That's number one. Number two, you want me to rule on a report which they haven't even presented. Allow the chair to present. I have told the chair to present the report in full, because in doing the work, the committee can even go beyond and get more information and get more findings. So everything that the committee found out will go on the record of Parliament.
Much obliged. Right.
Thank you. Let the chair present.
Thank you.
Colleagues, I don't have a mattress, so I'm going to sleep here. And today we are proroguing.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker, for your wise guidance. Like I said, I am going to give this report to my deputy to present it to the House, and then I'll continue for further.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm here to present a report of the Committee on National Economy on the proposal by government to utilize $250 million from Uganda's IMF SDR quota allocation, and to borrow up to SDR 90 million, that is $125 million from the IMF, and up to euro 500 million from Amarok Capital Limited, Sovereign Infrastructure Group, Sovinfra, and other financial institutions to finance the government of Uganda budget financial year 2022-2023. Right Honorable Speaker, this request came up on the 23rd of May, 2023, and was referred to the Committee on National Economy. Background, Parliament approved the budget of 48.1 trillion for expenditure during financial year 2022-23. The budget was to be financed through domestic revenue, including AIA amounting to 25.7 trillion, grants amounting to 2.1 trillion, and the rest of the budget deficit to be financed through external borrowing for both budget support and domestic refinancing. Right Honorable Speaker, I'll go to the observations. The committee, in its attempt to produce a report, had a joint meeting with the committee, yes. In its attempt to produce a report, had a joint meeting.
Order.
Mr. Speaker, you have asked the chairperson of the committee to present a report. Maybe he realized there was no report. He said, let my deputy present a report. The deputy is saying there was an attempt to do a report. Is he in order to come here and present an attempt instead of presenting a report?
Honorable Ekigudde, can you clarify on that? What do you?
Right Honorable Speaker, I'm using very clear English. When we are having meetings, we are attempting to produce or to make what will lead to a final report. And finally, after different attempts in different meetings, we have a final report.
Can you read the report, Honorable Ekigudde? We don't have much.
Right Honorable Speaker, on the first request.
But today I don't know why colleagues are not kind to each other. The words moving around. Yeah, you all honorable members of parliament. You make a colleague feel uncomfortable. We can all make mistakes. Just be.
Right Honorable Speaker, on the first request, to utilize $250 million from the IMF quota. The committee, the purpose was to help economies build reserves, resilience, and stability in the aftermath of the pandemic. IMF on 21st August 2021 made a general allocation to all its member countries to a tune of $650 billion. Uganda received its quota equivalent to SDR 346 million, that is $467 million. US dollars 250 million of this quota will be utilized to finance budget activities for financial year 2023-2023, and the balance of 217 million to build our international reserves at Bank of Uganda. The second request was to borrow up to SDR 90 million, which is $125 million from the IMF. On the 28th, Right Honorable Speaker, of June 2021, the IMF approved a three-year program and extended liquidity facility for Uganda amounting to SDR 722 million, that's about $1 billion, to support the post-COVID-19 recovery and government's plan to increase households' incomes and inclusive growth. To date, government has accessed SDR 451.25 million, that's about $600 million, leaving a balance of SDR 271 million. Government intends to borrow up to SDR 90 million from the above balance under the program to finance the budget for financial year 2022-2023. Right Honorable Speaker, the third was to borrow up to euro 500 million from Amarok Capital Limited and Sovereign Infrastructure Group. This facility is intended to finance supplementary expenditure of Uganda shillings 1.524 trillion. That was approved by Parliament and cover up for the projected revenue shortfalls of Uganda shillings 507 billion. Uvinfra and ACL, referred to as leader rangers, were chosen following a request to 10 financial institutions to provide innovative ways and mechanisms to finance the budget, under which the two emerged as the best bidders. And table 4 highlights that. Sovinfra is a company organized and existing under the laws of the state of Delaware, USA, while ACL is a company organized and exists under the laws of Kenya and are jointly the leader rangers. Methodology. Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the minister's brief to Parliament was one of the issues we looked at. The Budget Committee report with budget estimates for financial year 2020 to 2023, the draft financing agreement between the government of the Republic of Uganda, represented by Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, herein referred as the borrower, and the Sovereign Infrastructure Group and Amarok Capital Limited, the leader rangers. Then we also looked at Uganda request for a 3-year arrangement under the extended credit facility and the press release by the IMF. Guidance note to fund staff and on the treatment and use of SDR allocations by the International Monetary Fund. We also looked at the letter from NPA confirming no objection to the proposed borrowing dated 23rd May 2023 and a list of financing options. Right Honorable Speaker, proposed budget support. Right Honorable Speaker, government is proposing to use a portion of the SDR quota amount equivalent to $250 million to finance budget activities. In addition, government intends to borrow $125 million from IMF credit and euro 500 million euros from Amarok. Right Honorable Speaker, 4.2 is utilization of the funds. The proposed borrowing is to finance, okay, that one has already highlighted. Let me go to the terms. Terms and conditions. As far as the first loan of $250 million, is the grace period is 0. Interest rate is SDR rate, which is the higher of the two. Then the combined market interest rate plus 0.050% as at May 2022. The combined market interest rate was 3.7.9%. Maturity period, there is no specific date applicable. Then the condition approval of utilization by Parliament and the Cabinet. That's why we are here. The committee observed that while utilization of the SDR quota for financial year for fiscal purposes will not necessitate government to repay the principal amount, it attracts an interest which can only stop when government restores its SDR